So, guys, remember in our starting days, we have learned about it, right? So, which is a service in AWS? If you want to create databases, which service do you recommend? RDS. So, what is the full form of RDS? Relational Database Services. Okay. And then this RDS supports how many engines? 6 engines. What are those? MAM PMA. Expand that one by one. Direct to Maria, because that is girl name. Tell me first one. Yes, MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgres, MariaDB, and Aurora. So, and then which one is AWS proprietary database engine? Aurora. Which is one? Aurora. So this RDS, guys, in EC2, we call it as EC2 instances. In Lightsail, we call it as Lightsail instance. Here in RDS, we call it as database instance. What do we call? Database instance, right? DB instance, we call it as DB instance. So this engine is completely managed by AWS. So Nana, is it possible to RDP SSH to this engine? No, it is not a server for us. It's a service. It's a service. RDS is like a platform as a service. It's like a platform as a service. So do you need to worry about the server in the platform as a service? Do you have a control on the server in the platform service? No. What you need to do is you just need to go ahead and then create the database. Create the engine, and then that engine is completely managed by AWS. What you need to do is create a database inside it and then use it. That's it. You just need to use it. You create it and then use it. And rest everything is managed by AWS. So guys, if you listen RDS, and the rest of the database services are easy. The rest are all easy. Got it? So let's move on to, and I'm telling you, RDS is also, of course, with me, everything is easy, right? For others, of course, that's right. With me, everything is easy. That meaning, అట్లా ఉంటుంది మనతో. Okay, so guys, very common. RDS is a RDBMS database system, RDBMS, right? So let's go one real-time scenario. Let's go with one real-time scenario. So, Pradeep is in, not Pradeep. Don't remind me those, yeah. Okay. This 9M is a little bit soft corner batch for me. Like a favorite batch. Every batch. 90 mm. Okay. So, but the thing is, why I say, I generally usually say this word favorite batch, because it's not only one favorite. There are few batches where they will be very silent, right? They will be very silent. So they'll answer the questions, they'll be very silent a little bit, but especially few batches. Like, I pick up few batches. Like, last time, last 2, 3, 4 batches is normal, right? Again, I got this 9M batch where, like, I feel like, I play more jokes, you take it very jovial, and then we have fun, and then we learn everything. So like this, there are few batches for me. So for that reason, I said 9M is also one of the favorite batch. That's the reason I said. Okay. Okay. So, okay, now, Nana, this is a DB instance. What is this? Okay, this is a DB instance. So this is a DB instance, and then you have application here. You have application. Okay, you have a application here. Yes, correct. And there will be live telecast also, no? Today, Chandrayaan 3, right? So, really? They changed it, huh? I see. Mhm. Okay, so whenever it is, so we hope and we wish really all the best for ISRO and to have this very soft landing on the moon, and we will be the first country that I mean, checking the landing our satellite on the south pole of the moon, right? Yeah, and it's hardly 30 to 40 kilometers from my place, ISRO. Okay. Hmm? 15 kilometers. Which place, sir? So a little bit. So will you say hi like this, ISRO? Hi, ISRO. Huh? Okay, so no. See here, we have a DB instance and then we have application. So generally, what is the scenario? You have your applications. Your application will be connected to the database. That is a very normal, common scenario. Correct? You have application, and application will be connected to your database. So what does the application will do? Application will go ahead and then write it on the DB, and also what does it do? It read it. What does it do? Read and write. So it will read, it will write and then here read. Okay, so now developers or anyone, if you want to connect to the database, what are the things that you need? If you want to connect to your database, what are the things that you need? Tell me. So many people, the developers, they know this. So let's say from your application, have you heard about connection string? Okay, developers knows this connection string. Connection string meaning where it has the information to connect your database. So as many people said, so you need to have a host name, correct? And you need to have a username, you need to have the password, and you need to have the port number. So these are the four things that you need in order to connect to your database. So what is a host name? Host name is the IP of that server or database manager. Here we have launched the DB instance. Does it has the IP address? What does it has? It has something called endpoint. What does it has? Endpoint. So from now, we should not call it as host name. We call it as endpoint. Username, we'll give the username our wish. You can give whatever the username, your password, you can give it. And then a port number. Port number is depend on the DB engine. Correct? So let's say if you have taken Postgres. Postgres has one port number, 5432, for example. Right? If you are launching MS SQL DB engine, 1433. Like this, for every DB engine, there is a port number. Correct? So here, if you want to connect to the DB instance, what are the things that you need? You need endpoint. Now tell me, what are the things that you need? Endpoint, username, password, port number. Can you come again? Endpoint, username, password, and port number. So if you have these four things, you will be able to connect to the DB engine. Okay. Now, so we have this application, we have the DB instance now. Let's say, tell me, is it only one application that will be connected to the database? There will be multiple applications, correct? There will be so many applications connecting to the same database engine. Let's say, for example, here I have application. Here I have one application, and here also I have one application. See, these applications are read purpose. Let's say, for example, there might be few application which is used for read purpose, correct? Let's say, have you heard about Power BI? Business intelligence tools. What they do is they'll generate the report, then they fetch the reports. Fetching the reports meaning they'll reading the database, correct? So they are more read heavy applications. What are those? Read heavy applications. Read heavy applications meaning what? They will connect to the database and they will write they will read they will read a lot. What to do? They'll read a lot. They'll read a lot. Okay, now you have that kind of application. And now your application is connected to the DB instance. See here. And your application is connected to the DB instance. Now, tell me, guys, these applications are read purpose, right? So there are applications where they are writing on the DB instance also. There are few applications they are heavily reading also. Is it recommended for this kind of applications to go and talk to this DB instance and read a lot? No, because the thing is here, guys, you have your application which is reading here and you have application which are writing here. Like this, if you have 10 applications, what happened to your DB instance? What happened to your DB instance? It will go down or it will become very, 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 very slow. So is it recommended to have these read heavy applications to connect to your DB instance? No. For this kind of purpose, AWS came up or RDS came up with another new feature which is called read replica. What is it called? Read replica. So you can create a read replica out of it. This one and this one. Now what is this called? Read replica. This is called read replica. Okay, now you tell me. So these read replicas meaning, guys, read replicas meaning whatever the data you're writing your DB instance will get the data is replicated to the read replicas like this. So now tell me, I have this application. This application is better to connect to this DB instance or read replica? So it's not good to connect to your, can I call it as a master server? Or instead of calling master server, guys, now you should call it as, basically we have a role. Generally, if you don't have any, if it is normal only one DB instance, we call it as an instance. And if you create a replica, then it will become primary instance. Guys, if you create a replica, then what is the role of it? Primary instance. If you don't have any replica, what is the role? Instance. If you have a replica, then it will become primary instance. If it doesn't have any replica, then this is instance. The role is instance. Okay, now these applications are connected to this read replica. This application is connected to this read replica. See here. Okay, now. So if you have this type of application connecting to the read replica, do you have a lot of load on your normal primary instance? No. So the load is getting distributed here to the read replicas. So if you have read heavy applications like this, it's better way is to create a read replicas. And then remember, this DB instance has an endpoint. Every DB instance has its own endpoint. And read replica also has its own endpoint. If you want to connect to the read replica has its own endpoint. And if you want to connect another read replica, every server have their own host name or endpoint. And question here is, for read replica, will you able to write only read? Yes. Are there any writes happening here? No. Only reads. No writes. You're getting it? Simple, no? So you have a normal DB instance. If you have few applications, you have one DB instance where you can connect to it, you can write, you can read. But if you have multiple applications, and there are applications which are read heavy applications. For that, is it recommended to connect to your DB instance? No, what you create out of it? Read replicas you create it. You create a read replicas, and then every read replicas has its own endpoint. Yes. So, and then those read heavy applications you connect to the read replica, right? And then read replica will be, and that application will be reading from that read replicas. So our DB instance, our primary instance will have any stress or load on it? No. So like this, you can create maximum 5 read replicas. How many replicas you can create? 5. For one instance, how many read replicas you can create? 5. Now, who will take care of replication? Yes, from here to here, the replication will be automatically taken care by AWS. Replication. Yes, correct. So you have this replication. Okay. No, this replication, you tell me here, whenever someone is writing here, parallel it is writing here and here. Parallel it is doing. So the thing is here, parallelly not. Right? The thing is here, whenever someone is writing, immediately this is available here and here. It will be available, but it is synchronous or asynchronous? Asynchronous. It is asynchronous. So synchronous meaning whatever it is writing here, at the same time it is available here. Is it happening like this here? No. First the writes will happen here, then the replication will be happening here. So it is synchronous or asynchronous? Asynchronous. Asynchronous. RDS is regional or global? Regional. So can I have this in Mumbai? And can I have it in 1A? Guys, remember this replicas. We can have replicas in another regions also. Guys, my primary instance is in Mumbai. Can I have replicas in across the regions? Yes. Can I have it in Ireland? Yes. This replica, can I have it in Ohio? Yes. And you have it in different availability zone also. Can I have it in 1B? Can I have it in 1C? So see guys. So there is a requirement like this. Let's say for example, our customers are in India. Our customers are in India. So where do you set up your database? In Mumbai or in Hyderabad. So now there are few customers in US where they are basically generating the reports. So you have deployed the application in US region, North Virginia, and database there it has to come all the way to Mumbai from US. What will happen if you have like this? You will have a low latency or high latency? High latency you have it. So instead of connecting that US application all the way to Mumbai, so we have the primary instance in Mumbai. No, can you create a read replica to US region? Yes. You create a read replica to US region and ask the US region applications to connect to that read replica in US. Because the replication is automatically taken care by AWS and then application can read it from that US read replica. So like this, if you want to have your read replicas can be in the same region also, or it can be in a different region also. Same availability zone also, or in different availability zone also. You got this? You understand what is the read replica concept? So can we say read replica? So, okay, this read replica is like high availability? Answer is no. The read replica is not high availability. If something goes wrong with this, replication will happen? No. So this is not high availability. So read replicas are used to increase the performance of the database. Read replicas are used to increase the performance of the database. Make sense? Okay. So now I'll write. So read replicas is basically RDS is regional, correct? RDS is regional. Read replicas are used to increase the performance. Okay. How many maximum read replicas you can have? Maximum 5 read replicas. Okay. Read replicas can be in different availability zone and different regions. Okay. Read replicas are used for read purpose, not write purpose. Read replicas have their own endpoints. Read replicas have their own endpoints. Make sense? See the diagram for 1 minute. Now, who is providing the endpoint? Yes, AWS will endpoint is provided by AWS. You create a DB engine and automatically the endpoints will be provided by AWS. Clear? Online, is it clear? Everyone, Chiti? CC? Okay. See here. Now, this is read replica, no? Guys, this is a read replica. Now, let's say, for example, this read replica doesn't want to get replication anymore. Read replica doesn't want to get replicated anymore. Can I promote this read replica to a normal instance? Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the primary instance, no? So primary instance and it is a read replica. I don't want this read replica. I want to have a standalone machine, normal instance. So guys, anytime you can promote it to your normal instance. If you promote it, do we have any replications anymore? No. So read replica can be promoted to standalone DB instance. So once promoted, no replication will happen. Will be stopped. Then is this clear? Okay, na? Any questions? Chat box. Any questions? So understood what is read replica? So just in case if your applications are heavily loaded, so what you need to do? So you would create a read replicas. So remember read replicas, you can only read, not write. You cannot write, only read. So read replicas has their own endpoints. Yes, read replica has their own endpoint. Can you create the read replicas in different region also? Yes. Like promote, we can demote also. No, there is no demote, only promote. Either you have a replication or you don't have a replication. Let's say, for example, similar, no? Let's say Vinod is working with me, for example. Right? Every time Vinod will say, Riyaz sir, I like Riyaz sir. So some point of time he'll say that, why Riyaz sir? I want to become Riyaz sir. So he is in touch with me now? No. So he will get promoted to Riyaz sir. Similarly, here also, like a server, so I'm the primary instance and he's the replica. So I will be replicating all my data to him. So if you don't want his replication from me, what he'll do? He'll get promoted to a normal server. Once he promoted to a normal server, do you have any replication anymore? No. But again, once he become to a normal instance, can he create a read replica from out of it? Yes, because he's the owner, he's the top, and he can do whatever. You can create the read replicas from the primary instance. Can you create a read replica from read replica? No, you can create from the primary instance. Okay. Now, another important topic in RDS is, we call it as multi-AZ. Right? Yes, once it is promoted, you can Murali. Yes. Next, what is the concept, Nana? Multi-AZ. What is that? Multi-AZ. Not heavy data, heavy load. Heavy data is different. Data is stored in the volumes. So let's say I'm the database, I'm the DB instance, and you are all applications. And everyone started connecting to me. So you have so many people, no? So what will I'll be stressed out? So there are so many connections are connecting to me. I'm responding the data to them. So I'll get slow because so many people started connecting. And half of you are writing. Half of you guys are writing. So I can take the write. But these half of the people, they are not writing, they are reading. So if they are reading it, Is it better all these people to connect to me, or I can create a duplicate of me, read replicas? I'll create the duplicate of me, right? Create, that's called read replicas, and ask all the applications that who are reading purpose, don't connect to me, connect to the read replicas. So guys, my stress levels will go decrease, and I'll give good performance for you guys, half of the people at least. That is the purpose. Yes. Okay, Nana. So the previous topic was on read replicas, and what is this topic here? Multi-AZ. In RDS, mainly we have three concepts. Number one, we call it as read replicas. Number two, multi-AZ, and number three is not required that much, but I still tell that is related RDS proxy. What is that called? RDS proxy. These are the three important things from RDS, and rest everything we can see directly from the console. Directly, because it's database configuration. And again, one more thing I'm telling you. So are we here to create tables? Are we here to create tables? No. Are we here to create queries? We are, from AWS point of view, what we do is we will go and set up the database. We'll go and configure the database. We'll go secure the database. We'll maintain the database. Once we set up everything, we'll give it to the developers. Babu, developers, take it. And developers will get connected, and then they create tables or schemas, so that whatever they want to create, they will create it. Okay. Okay. Right replica. What is that right replica? Question mark. Nandkishore. Oh. Okay, that's a question. So, okay, the question got interpreted here. So, Nandkishore, you're asking like, sir, how we have read replicas? Similarly, do we have write replica? Do we have the right replicas? Correct, yeah? Or no? The talent kunna. Okay, so no. So we don't have any write replicas. We have only read replicas. Okay, only read replicas. Okay. So I'll talk. So let me complete this paint. Most of the questions will get answered automatically. Okay. So what is it today's next concept is multi-AZ. AZ represents here what? Availability zone. So multi-AZ is related to high availability. The previous one is read replica, and this one is high availability. So what is this high availability? Let's talk on this. So let's say, for example, here. Okay, first let me write multi-AZ is for high availability purpose. You might have a question, sir, what happened if that engine goes down? Right? So then we need to talk about this multi-AZ concept. So let's say I have this is a DB instance. Okay. So consider this is a DB instance. Guys, this is the DB instance. It can be having any engine, no? Out of 6, you can have any engine. Let's say MySQL. You can have MySQL also, you can have Postgres also, you can have any engine, you have it here. Okay, now, guys, in EC2, we have instance type, no? Which is the instance type that we should be using it? T2 micro. Similarly, when you're launching the DB instance, you have DB instance type. What is that you have? DB instance type. Similarly, like T2 micro, large, X large, there's so many families are there. So based on that, you need to select it. Let's say, for example, I have selected here called DB instance. What is the DB instance I have selected? Let's say T2 X large, for example. What I have selected? T2 X large. So T2 X large has, let's say it is charging $100, for example. How much it is charging? $100, for example. Okay. So remember, in RDS also you have DB instance type, similar like EC2. You have security groups, EPC, everything are the same. So now you have a DB instance, which is MySQL, which is T2 X large. There is a concept called multi-AZ. Just now I said multi-AZ. So it will ask, when you're configuring the DB engine, it will ask, Babu, do you need multi-AZ? Babu, do you need multi-AZ? So if you say yes, yes, I need multi-AZ. I need a multi-AZ. Whenever you say you need multi-AZ, whenever you say you need multi-AZ, you need multi-AZ, you know what AWS will do, what RDS will do? RDS will create another parallel DB instance similarly like this. But and it will do the replication to this. This is synchronous or asynchronous now? It is synchronous. It is synchronous. So whatever the writes are happening here, automatically it get replicating at the same time. But the thing is here, whenever you enable multi-AZ, another parallel DB instance will be created. No, but this is not visible for us. Not. It is completely handled by AWS. So just in case Pusuk something happened here, if something happened here on the DB instance, what will happen? Automatically failover will be happening to this here. The failover will happen. You understand? And also this also has its own endpoint. Yes. Guys, remember, whenever the failover is happening and your applications are connecting from to this, okay? See here. Your applications are connecting to this. So see here. Your applications are connecting to this endpoint, correct? Applications are connected to this endpoint. So now failover happen. It will be connected to this. You got? Applications are connected to this endpoint. Once the failover happens, the application will be connected to this. And because the endpoints should change or same. Whenever you do the failover, endpoints doesn't change. So that meaning endpoints remains same. You got it? This is called multi-AZ. What is this called? Multi-AZ. It's like, high availability. But do we need to worry about it? High availability? No. You just select multi-AZ. If you need multi-AZ or not, just select it. Automatically, a parallel another DB instance will be created and replication will be happening. Just in case if something goes wrong with your normal DB instance, automatically failover will happen. But the question is, sir, when failover will happen? Let me ask you a question. Some developer has logged into this, connected to this DB engine. He created a table and corrupted it. Failover will happen. Remember, guys, does AWS has access inside your DB engine? Does AWS has access inside the DB engine? No. So if something is happening inside your DB engine, failover will happen? No. Only when something goes wrong with the whole DB instance in the backend, or if something network goes wrong, then only failover will happen. DB level operations, no failover. DB level operations, no failover. Sir, if endpoints same, then how we specify it is multi-AZ or direct connect to DB? What is that? Idea. If endpoint same, then how we specify it is multi-AZ or direct connect? No. So guys, here, I'm talking about the backend, how it is happening. Okay, do we need to worry about is it getting changed or not? So guys, whenever you see, you set up a DB instance here and you have the endpoint. You have the endpoint and you have given the endpoint to the application. Application as usual is connecting to it. And all of a sudden something goes wrong and then it has failover. Does it has any impact on the application? No, the endpoint is same. No, doesn't matter. Even we will not have the notification that failover has happened. So AWS will make sure that this DB instance will be working all the time, every time. Okay, na? DB level operations failover will be there? No. So that is important. No. Answer is no. So can we assume endpoint? We can assume like ELB? Yes. We can assume like ELB. So Nana, see here, DB operations will not have any failover, right? Anything related to network, okay, servers, etc., will have failover. You got this? So in multi-AZ, endpoints remain same or different? In multi-AZ, endpoints will not change after failover. Okay. Guys, can you enable multi-AZ for read replicas also? Yes. Remember in previous topic we had discussed about read replicas, no? So if you are worried about something goes wrong with my read replica, can you enable multi-AZ for read replica also? Yes. You can enable read replica for, you can enable multi-AZ for read replica also. You got everyone. You're getting it, guys, online? Nana, is it possible to do SSH and RDP to this DB instance? Can you connect? Can you log into the DB instance? Yes or no? Answer is no. Guys, this is a platform as a service. No, is it possible to log into the server? No, DB engine you created and then you just connect to it. That's it. Is it possible to log in as an SSH and RDP? No. So here, RDP, SSH are not possible to the RDS DB instance. Okay. And do you remember reserved instances? What is reserved instances? What is reserved? Where did you learn this topic? In which service? EC2. Okay. What is reserved instances? So can we reserve it for how many years? 1 or 3 years, correct? If you reserve, what will happen? What will happen? Discount, you will get it. Yes or no? So now let's say, for example, if I reserve this T2X large, let's say I'm paying $100. If you reserve it for 1 or 3 years, can I get very good discount here, 75% discount? Yes. So your RDS DB instances can be reserved? Can be reserved. So you can reserve it. And by the way, guys, the very dangerous problem with multi-AG is, so once you have enabled multi-AG, how much you are paying for this DB instance? $100. Once you have enabled the multi-AG, you need to pay how much? Double the amount you need to pay. How much you need to pay? $200 you need to pay. Because another DB instance is getting created, which is not visible, right? So remember, there are so many, not this batch, not my batch, other trainers, people, students, what they did was, they were doing RDS practicals and they have enabled this multi-AZ, and then they have not used T2 micro, they have used a bigger machine and enabled the multi-AZ. And he forgot to delete. You know how much bill he got? 80,000 rupees he got. How much? 80,000 rupees. Sugar patient, no? Yes or no? Obviously. So I'm telling you, so what to select, what not to select. So if you follow me, you don't get it. Otherwise, so now remember, so multi-AZ concept is billable, and also will in your real time also, unless if your client approves that, hey, you need to tell, if you enable multi-AZ, if you have a high availability, double the cost you will have. If the client says okay, then only enable, otherwise don't enable. So multi-AZ cost is doubled. The multi-AZ cost is doubled. Got it? Okay. Is it clear till here, everyone? Nana, understood what is multi-AZ, what is read replicas and multi-AZ? Two important topics. Now, let me talk about normal RDS features are there, no? There are so many features. So here also we have RDS features. Whenever we talk about databases, the first thing that you get in your mind is what? Backups. What is that? Backup. Yes or no? So we need to take the backup of the database, no? Otherwise, gone case. So what generally We will go and set up the DB engine and we'll give it to the developers. What the developers will do, they will connect to the DB engine. They'll start creating multiple tables, multiple databases. They will create multiple tables. They'll get and do lot of operations. All of a sudden, they did something wrong inside the database, inside some table, and they corrupted the table. And immediately they'll come to you and ask, "Hey, do we have yesterday's backup? Do we have yesterday's backup?" If you say no, they'll kick you out of the company. So as an AWS engineer, you need to maintain the backups, correct? So you need to maintain the backup. So what you need to do, you need to restore it from the backup. But okay, so now the backups here are called snapshots. What are the backups called? Snapshot. So in RDS, backups are called what? Snapshot. Can you take this snapshot manually also, and you can automate it also? Yes or no? So you can manually take the backup also. Can manually take out backups, and you can automate it also. Automate meaning schedule backup, no? Yes or no? At this particular time, okay, generally, will you take the backups manually or will you schedule it? We will schedule it. At what time? Morning times, afternoon times, or night times? Ah, yes, sir. That's really good. That's really good. What to do in night time? He'll definitely, that's good. Because in the morning times, all the customers will be connected, no? And they will be accessing the databases. So at night, they will be connecting. Now, for that reason, as there is no activity in the night, for that reason, the backups and all transactions, any kind of maintenance, they will do it in the night time, our night time. So basically in US, daytime. In US also, guys, it is not about country, depend upon your working. It should have your off hours or non-working hours. So you should better always say non-working hours. So that is on the backups. And guys, okay, now see here. No, this is the DB engine. What is that? Which engine? Let's say MySQL or PostgreSQL, whichever it is. Remember, see here. People will be connected to this DB engine and they will create multiple databases. One DB engine can contain multiple databases. Yes or no? And one database can contain multiple tables inside it. Yes or no? Yes. So remember, you are not taking the backup of particular database here. Backup meaning, does AWS has access inside your engine? No. AWS doesn't have access inside your engine. If you're taking the backup, you're taking the backup of the whole engine. That is called snapshot. The backup of the entire instance. The backup of the entire DB instance is called the snapshot. So, but if you want to do backup on only one particular database, does AWS will do for you? No. Who should do? Developers will take care of it. So developers, they do DB level operations. Everything is managed by us only, developers, right? So they will need to take the backup separately for it. But from the AWS point of view, he will take the backup of the whole machine. So you will get all the databases and you will get all the tables, you will get it. Remember, that's a difference. DB level operations will be done by the AWS? No. Who will take care of it? Or we? Okay, Nana? Okay. So DB level operations. DB level operations meaning what? Creating table, creating store procedures, right? Queries. What else? So creating, taking individual backups, DB backups, writing scripts, etc. Who will take care of it? Will be handled by customer. You got this point? And you got this point? Right? So DB instance level operations, Yes, DB instance level operations, right? So like instance backup, restore, right? And then configurations, maintenance, etc. will be handled by AWS. Not handled by AWS, will be handled by us through RDS console. Who should do backups restoration? We only have to do, no? Yes. There is a question. Small dot. Sir, here RDS service and DB instance mean RDBMS database. Yes. This RDS supports only RDBMS databases only, guys. Okay. So now, guys, patching of your DB instance will be handled by whom? Patching. If you want to install any patches, etc. So who will be taking care of it? AWS we should take care, because the entire server is handled by whom? AWS. So if you want to install any patches, if you want to have, let's say, latest version, let's say you are using MS SQL 4.0, for example, and version has increased from 4.1 to 4.2, 4.3, or 5. Who will take care of all these things? AWS will take care. We don't need to do anything. Okay. So patching, upgrade, right, etc. will be handled by AWS. So do you remember encryption? From where do you do the encryption? Yes. So guys, in every service, there is a default key, no? In EBS, you have AWS/EBS. In S3, you have AWS/S3. In RDS, you have AWS/RDS. So this is your default key, no? This is a default key. But if you want to use your own key, then go for KMS. So encryptions you can do. And then storage. Coming to the storage. So we have a concept called volumes. So your GP2, IO1, IO2, you can have it. Like similarly in EC2 we had, no, guys? So when you're setting up your database, it will ask for the volumes. How much size that you need the volume. You getting it? Guys, you're getting it online, guys. And here, similarly in EC2, we call it as instance type. No, here we call it as what? DB instance type. What do you call? DB instance type. Which one is a favorite one? T2 micro. Okay. And then in EC2, we have security groups. Similarly, here also we have security groups, VPC, security groups, everything you have. So because you wanted to secure it, no? So here also we have security groups, VPC, subnets, you have it. And then what are the concepts? Do we have a read replicas? You have read replicas concept, and you have multi-AZ concept. Now, here multi-AZ, latestly AWS has implemented one thing, which is called cluster. What is it called? Cluster. What is cluster generally? Yes, group of servers. So instead of you creating read replicas, there is a template already given by the RDS. You just need to select cluster. You need cluster. If you select cluster, what will happen? One primary, two replicas will be created automatically. It's like a template. It's like a template. So select that cluster, and then automatically one primary and how many replicas? Two replicas will be created. Otherwise, if you go with the standalone, or if you want to go with the normal multi-AZ, in one invisible database instance will be get created. Or you can create your own replicas if you want. Okay. Okay. So now, and guys, for monitoring, RDS is giving a very nice tool called performance insights. What is it called? Performance insights. So it will give a nice dashboard. It will give a nice dashboard, guys, saying that how many connections, how many hosts are connecting to your your database, how many applications got connected, what kind of queries that is executing, what type of queries, how many queries, and which query is ideal, which query is running, which query is taking more memory. All this entire monitoring can be done using performance insights. It's like a dashboard. You getting it? Any questions still here? Online? Okay, na? Is it clear, Nana? Okay. So now, backups. What are the backups called here? Backups are called snapshot. So we have backups retention period. What is it called? Retention. What is retention period? So the retention period is default 7 days and maximum 35 days. I'll tell you what is this. Now the retention period meaning you have enabled scheduled backup, automated backup. You have enabled automated backups. And every day, backups are happening. Every day, backups are happening. Correct? So now, for how long will you keep that backup? From if you take from today, every day it is taking the backup. For let's say for 1 month till December, it is taking the backups continuously. Will you keep all these months backups? So you need to set a time, no? So how many latest backups that you need? By default, he is giving how many days? 7 days. That meaning 7 backups will be there. 7 latest backups will be there. And maximum how many backups you can keep it? 35 days backup. You cannot keep on 6 months backup, 7 months backup. You cannot keep it. But if you want to keep it, will you schedule the backup? Will you manually take the backup? Manually. If you manually take the backup, that will get deleted automatically? No. So does the manual backup has any retention period? No. Until as you go and delete it, the manual backup will be there like just like that. You got this? So that is the retention period here. And then manual backups doesn't have any retention period. It will be always there until you delete it. Okay. Yes, Amol is asking. Let me put that point also. So what are the backups called here in RDS? Snapshot. So these snapshots can be exported to S3 also. Snapshots can be export to S3. Can you restore it also? Yes, restore it from S3. So, but in console, I'll show you. Guys, not all engines will be restored, only couple of engines, like I hope MySQL and Postgres only. So I'll show you in the console, right? I'll show you in the console. Like you, let's say you take the backup of Oracle and MariaDB and all these things, and you export it to S3. So can you restore it? So no, there are only couple of engines where it supports the restoration of from S3. Okay, that I'll show you in the console. And similarly, there is question, where are the snapshots? So the snapshots are stored in generally in EC2. Snapshots are stored in S3. Snapshots are stored in S3. Do we go and calify S3? No, right? So S3, it is whose S3? AWS providers S3, correct? Here also snapshots are stored in S3, but the thing is we no need to worry on it. And similarly, snapshots can be moved from, copied from one region to other region, can be shared from one account to another account. Similarly, you can also do the same thing here. Snapshots can be copied and shared from one AWS account to another. Okay, so now let's say, for example, I have a T2 small DB instance. How much? T2 small DB instance. And how much memory you have for T2 small, let's say 2 GB, for example. And this 2 GB is sufficient for you? Maybe after 1 month, people started crying, saying that, hey, Babu, slow, it is DB is very slow, database is very slow, very slow, very slow. Right? So what will you do at the time? Huh? What is that called? Scale upper, scale up, right? So we scale up and scale up. So can you increase the instance type from T2 small to T2 big, 2x large, big one? Yes. So if you want to do it, can you do it on fly? No, you need to stop the DB instance and increase it. Correct? We learned it in EC2. Similarly, here also, you can scale up, but what you need to do? You need to stop it, right? You can scale up the DB instance, but for this activity, you need to stop the DB instance. So downtime is required. Downtime is required because you are stopping the instance. Okay, got it? Auto scaling. Is it possible to have auto scaling on your databases? Tap, tap, tap. Can you increase the databases like this, number of servers, and remove it? No, you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot do that. So no auto scaling for this. No auto scaling for RDS. Okay, so guys, okay, as someone talked about auto scaling, so let me talk about this. So auto scaling we have heard about on the EC2 instance level, correct? Automatically number of EC2 instances will be increased and number of EC2 instances will be decreased. So have you heard about storage auto scaling? No. Let's say, for example, I'm giving a real-time scenario. You have launched a DB instance. You have launched a DB instance. You've created a DB instance. And then you have given 50 GB. How much you have? Let's say 100 GB. You have given how much GB? 100 GB. This 100 GB is sufficient for the next 6 months. After 6 months, this 100 GB data will get full. This data will get full. And once your volume is full, your DB will work. Your DB will stop working saying that your volume, your storage is full. I cannot write it out. So what you need to do at that time, you need to go to the RDS, modify it, and then increase this 100 GB to 200 GB. You need to increase it. So for that, you need to stop and do it. No, that means you need to have a downtime. Yes. So instead of that, what we can do is, Nana, right? What we can do is, when you're setting up the DB instance, you can put the maximum value of your storage. Let's say you give 100 GB, and in auto scaling, we'll give the maximum value. No. Similarly, in storage also, you can give the maximum value. Let's say 1000 GB, you give maximum value. AWS will charge for 1000 GB? No. Right. Whatever the data you have, you will be charged. So now your data has reached 100 GB. Will it stop working now? It will keep on increasing based on your data till how much? 1000 GB. So that is called storage auto scaling. What is it called? Storage. You understood storage auto scaling? So in RDS, we have storage auto scaling. So storage auto scaling meaning, so let's say you have 100 GB and maximum value, you put it as 1000 GB. So it will keep on increasing it. It'll keep on increasing. Right? So it is increase on fly. It will increase on fly. And also there is a small two things called parameter groups. What is that, Nana? Parameter groups. Parameter groups meaning this will be helpful for the developers. So guys, have you heard about global schema in databases? Global schema meaning, global, have you heard about global variables? Global variables meaning where it store the value. And you can use it in the same here. Global variables meaning you can use it for the entire engine. So there might be few requirements that developers will have a global schemas, global variables, where you can create a global variables, and that global variables will be used in your database level. We don't talk much on it. Developers will take care, but we have a concept called parameter groups. And then, yes, outside function you can do. And then you have subnet group. Subnet group meaning basically you restrict or allow access to DB from some network. What is that called? Subnet group. Subnet group meaning basically it's for restricting your databases. So instead of giving access to everyone, you can give some range and then they will only able to access your DB instance. Yes, but read replica, it cannot write it, no, Prathan. And though both has different endpoints, but you can do it. You need to tell to application guys to connect to the read replica, because read replicas has different endpoint. You need to change the endpoint there. And is this clear till here, everyone? So, what is the AWS proprietary engine? Which one? Aurora. So, Aurora basically is from AWS. Correct? Aurora is from AWS. So, the good thing here is, let's say, for example, who is the owner of Aurora? AWS. Whenever you are going and launching MySQL or Postgres databases, AWS say, Babu, try Aurora. Aurora is good. Because whose product is that? AWS product, no? So whenever you are upgrading or whenever you're copying the snapshot, whenever you're upgrading, whenever doing something, Babu, try Aurora. It's good, no? And AWS is saying that Aurora is 5 times faster than your Postgres and 3 times faster than your MySQL. It's super fast. It has so many features. So Aurora is compatible with only MySQL and Postgres. So whenever you are, let's say you took the snapshot of Postgres, and you know how easy to convert this Postgres snapshot to Aurora? One click. AWS will say, Babu, select migrate to Aurora. Why are you using Postgres? Migrate to Aurora. Try Aurora. Right? So every time it's all promoting by himself. So Aurora is compatible with what engines? MySQL and Postgres. So it is compatible for MySQL and Postgres. It is relational. Nandikishore. Okay. And guys, how many read replicas you can have in RDS? Maximum 5. You know, in Aurora, 15 read replicas. How many? 15 read replicas. In Aurora, how many read replicas? 15 read replicas. Now you might say that, sir, 15 read replicas. No, that meaning my applications should be connecting to these 15 individual replicas. No, but you know what he's doing? If you have 15 read replicas, instead of connecting to each and individual read replicas, because each and individual replicas will have endpoints. So instead of connecting to each and every endpoint 15 times, what he is doing, you know, he's creating a load balancer on top of it. He's creating a load balancer. You connect to the load balancer and load balancer will distribute the traffic to the read replicas. So you have the concept of load balancer. So read replicas, load balancer, also you have it here. And also high availability, everything, failover in blood only by default. By birth, it has failover, everything it is there. 0.000 seconds will take for the failovers. So Aurora is super good, but the thing is little bit costly. Okay. So costlier than other engines. Costlier than other engines. And I got it? Everyone? Is it clear? So, and the last thing that what we have here is RDS proxy. What is that? Actually, we no need to talk about that proxy and all. And we don't use it also because it is costlier and it is billable. So RDS proxy meaning simple. Nana, see here. RDS, AWS, RDS proxy. What this proxy will do is, let's say there are so many applications connecting to your database. There are so many applications connecting to the database. Instead of, or let's say, for example, I have 30 applications connecting to the database. How many connection strings will be there? 30, even more than that, because there are so many connections will be happening to the DB instance. What this proxy will do is, it will pool, it will mix, or it will consolidate all the connections, and it will reduce the number of connection to small connections, one or few connections, and it will send it to the DB engine. So DB engine is like, proxy is like Katappa, right? So everything he'll take it, and to whatever he want to tell to Bahubali, he'll tell to only those things. Will he tell everything? No. So there are so many connections happening to your database. Instead of that, if you put proxy in between, it will take all the connections, it will reduce the connections, and it will send it to the DB engine. That is called RDS proxy. And this RDS proxy, if you create it, it's fully managed by AWS. Right down. Fully managed by AWS. So I'll write allows applications, okay, to pool and share the DB connections established with the database. So I'm writing this because you can, whenever you come here and if you read it, you will understand. So improving database efficiency by reducing stress on database. And this is serverless. Aurora is, not Aurora, this guy. RDS proxy is serverless. And automatically you have auto scaling, high availability, everything is in inbuilt. So you don't have to worry about it. And it supports only MySQL, Postgres, MariaDB, MS SQL, and Aurora. Which one it doesn't support? Oracle. Very good. It doesn't support Oracle connections. And also, remember, by the way, now when you are setting up your database, you need to give username password. No, I forgot to tell this. We need to give the username and password. So you can give username and password directly when you're configuring the database. Otherwise, there is a service from AWS which is called Secret Manager. What is that? What is that, guys? Secret Manager. Secret Manager is a service from AWS where you put your secrets there. What are the secrets you can put? You can put username, passwords. You can put your keys, access keys, secret keys, and then you call that your credentials from the Secret Manager. Instead of you putting everything, you can have it in the Secret Manager and you can use it. So please write down, that is very important service. Secret Manager. It is used to store all your secrets like credentials, keys, encryption keys, etc. Everything you can store it. Very important certification question. So, what is the service called? Secret Manager. And very important thing here is RDS proxy is never publicly accessible. Is it good to access it public? Database meaning public or private? Always private. There is no scope. And this RDS proxy is never publicly accessible. Must be accessed from VPC. You got this now? Everyone? So basically, I'll draw. This is your VPC. Which one? This is your VPC. This is your VPC. Inside your VPC, you have availability zones, etc., right? And also, you have your own private subnet. Okay, Nana? So this is your, let's say, a private subnet. And in private subnet, you have your DB engine, correct? This is your RDS DB. RDS DB engine. On top of it, what you have? Here on top of it, you have proxy. What proxy is this? RDS proxy. And then you have applications here. Many applications, right? You have so many applications. So many applications. You have so many connections. Correct, Nana? You have so many applications. There are so many connections like this. And all these connections will be reduced. And it will pool it for only small connection, reduce the connections, and it will send to the proxy, and proxy will send it to the DB engine. You understand? Representative diagram now. Clear? Pool meaning collect and consolidate. Application, allow application to pull meaning consolidate. So RDS proxy will reduce the connections to a few connections from applications and send it to the DB instance. Understood now? RDS proxy. This, if at all you want, you can use it. Otherwise, not required. So rest everything, guys. Everything. What we do is when we go to the RDS console, there I'll explain most of the things. All configurations only. Is it clear? Any questions? Take the screenshots online. No, Amol. There is a question, guys. Sir, if we stop the RDS instance, will it incur billing? No. If you stop the EC2 instance or if you stop the DB instance also, no billing. But if it has a volume inside it, data, that will be charged. Guys, let me know once you took the screenshot. Done. Very good. Go with the second one. Done. And the third one. Clear, na? Any questions? Sir, can we create replica from standalone DB? Of course. Initially, it will be standalone DB instance. After that only, you need to create their replicas. What is your role? What is the role when there is no replicas? Instance. What is the role? Instance. When you create a read replica, the role will become primary instance. You can create from when it is called, when it's instance is nothing but standalone machine itself. Any other questions? All good, huh? Good. Okay, can you give the final CC for today, please? CC with smile. So great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the RDS practicals. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day and see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye. Thank you.